PrimeFanChampionship.com.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, because it will include a segment of Bryan Bulaga, the doctor of football, and Jason Wilde discussing the newest member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, announced today that I think he is signing, I think it's tomorrow, but this is what everybody expected. It took longer, but the majority were saying, and I think Bryan Bulaga was part of that, doctor, that you always thought Aaron Rodgers would play with the Steelers, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I thought if it wasn't going to be Minnesota, right? If it wasn't going to end up being Minnesota, it was going to be Pittsburgh, right? Like, I mean, I think he was going to hold as long as he could to see if Minnesota was going to budge. And if Minnesota wasn't going to budge, it was going to end up being Pittsburgh eventually. And that's what happened.
My theory has always been Pittsburgh said, take as much time as you want. I think it says to me, and I could be, that they don't have their quarterback yet for after this year. If they believed in a young quarterback, they'd be playing him this year. I mean, why not? If you're a good organization, similar to what the Packers did. I don't know the Steelers organization that well, so this could be wrong, but I'm thinking, but if you play with Rodgers, then you have the ability in the next draft to pick a quarterback if you win. I don't, unless you think Rudolph would benefit in a huge way from playing with Aaron Rodgers. But
yeah, I don't think the Steelers think they have the guy on the roster. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see, because if Aaron plays well and the team plays well and they make the playoffs again, like they have, they're going to be picking around the same time again. And we all know, you know, quarterbacks rarely fall down to those positions that are of high quality. I mean, you have to find the rare ones that do, right? The Aarons, the Lamar Jacksons, that obviously the Tom Brady's, the ones that fall all the way down there, the Jordan Loves, like they just don't get down there that often, right? Pittsburgh's in that. If
he has a good year, he's coming back for a second year. They're just not obligating themselves to. And if he has a really good second year, you know what? He might come back for the third year, unless he decides he's haven't had enough. And the question I would emphasize is not if he can stay healthy, it's how hurt will he get?
Yeah.
I don't know how how many games is he going to miss? I don't know the number, but at that age, I just don't think you can count on any quarterback to start for every game of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you got to take into account the age and, you know, kind of what he's gone through just with the Achilles. And I don't mean like the Achilles a reoccurrence or anything like that, but
it has effect on other parts of your leg.
Yeah, of course. But I just look at it like I was mentioning on KVN, the offensive line, that impact on him, right? How many hits he's going to take, how he's going to be having to move around and potentially getting hit on the move and taking those body blows throughout the year. That's not what you want. And people say, well, Brady played for that long. If you look at the way Brady played, that ball was out of his hands. He did not get touched once he turned 40. He did not want to get touched when he turned 40.
I agree totally. I'd love to see the average amount of time that he held on to the ball before a pass over the course of the season versus the other quarterback. Yeah, I don't think it was physically possible to hit him in the time that he took to release the ball. I don't think you could get there.
No, he got rid of the ball so fast once as he got older that, like, he just wasn't taking the hits. So, like, of course he could keep going. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could sack him, but they wouldn't be the big shots that you would see some of these other quarterbacks take, because it would be a covered sack, and Tom's very smart. He would kind of go down on his own, right? He would feel the pocket collapse and would go down on his own and not really take a hit. So,
and I will defer to you on why, and maybe teams did, and I didn't, where I would take every receiver and stand next to him, knowing that Brady's going to release the ball quickly, and I want to be on the guy. Well, clearly it isn't as easy as I describe it, because they had a good year in Tampa when they won the Super Bowl. But, whatever that receiver's going to do, he's going to have to do it in a short period of seconds, and I want to be close on him. So I'll defer to somebody defensively. Teams probably did that to some degree on Rodgers. I guess they know which receiver is, I don't know, slanting or whatever, that the defensive defender can be close to him, but that doesn't mean that he can necessarily guard him. If maybe the tight end or the wide receiver, if the defender's on one side, then he slants the other, and there's no way. Well, you can always slant away from the side that the defensive player's on, right? The defensive.
Oh, yeah. So. Well, that's the thing. Like, Tom obviously was an extremely, extremely smart quarterback. He read coverages better than anybody. He could check in and out of plays and in and out of routes and concepts and do everything to make sure that he had guys open, right? And he had the concepts available. And if you look at those teams that he was on later in his career, those offensive lines were pretty good in Tampa, like Wirfs and Jensen and Marpet. Like those offensive lines in Tampa were pretty good. Like they were no slouches.
How would it have been? Had you gone to Brady at the end, you would go, this is the easiest job in the world compared to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers would hold the ball for a week compared to Brady.
I mean, it certainly would have been a change of pace, that's for sure. I mean, just based on how he operates, right? I mean, they operate in a different sense. They do things completely different. Like, Aaron extends, he holds, and he makes plays doing that. And obviously there's stress points with that. And Tom, what Tom does is Tom methodically works down the field, and that's what Tom does. And there's stress points with that too, right? Like, you wear down a defense, but you also at times can wear down an offensive line. There's more shots at an offensive lineman to beat them and get sacks and do things like that. You give D linemen more opportunities to do that. So there's both sides of the coins on it, right? Like, you could look at it in multiple ways. To me, it would have been, it would have been, I get to play with two Hall of Famers. Like that could be the coolest thing ever.
Then you would have had to say, someone would say, so which one was easier to play for? And then certainly Brady was easier in the aspect of how quickly he released, but there are, as I'm sure you will tell us, a number of different factors that you also have to add in to decide who was easier to play for.
Yeah, I mean, there's different things, of course. Other things that, like I said, from the standpoint of how Tom would operate. I mean, obviously, I never played for him. I just got to watch him from the sideline. I got to watch him from a TV. Just how he go. I mean, their drives were methodical, long drives.
Come on. I'm Bryan Bulaga, and I'm watching going, I can't think of anything easier than to be an offensive lineman for Tom Brady. I checked the numbers. I have to hold my position against the guy I'm blocking for half a second. I think I can handle that. In fact, I was thinking I might just let him go free, and I still don't think that he could get to Brady. Come on, you had to be thinking that. much as you like Aaron Rodgers, no one can argue what it was like to be an offensive lineman for Brady at the end in Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, I mean, believe me, we would watch the tape of how Tom, when Tom was playing, and you would see, how fast he would throw the ball, and you're like, man, because I was in LA at the time. Obviously, when Tom went there, I was in LA, and when they played Green Bay in that NFC Championship, so I was in LA watching the tape, and we'd be in the old line room and just being like, man, that looks pretty nice. How fast Tom's getting rid of that rock.
Do you think any line would ever do that? It's an insignificant play. Go, Tom. We're not even blocking. We're just going to let them go straight through. I still don't think they can get you. No? Come on.
No, absolutely not. No, not a chance. Would never tell him that. No way.
Well, I want him to know ahead of time.
No. I mean, but the thing was, that's just how smart of a quarterback he was. Like, he could see everything and read everything. He knew where he was going, most likely before, the ball even hit his hands.
So Rodgers knew the same, and yet he played the position so much or differently. Why? He felt right. I hold the ball longer, then guys will eventually get open. Explain the logic that Rodgers had other than Brady, because they clearly were equally as smart in terms of understanding the position and knowing what they're facing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at obviously Tom's time in New England and then Aaron's time in Green Bay. Two different offenses for majority of Aaron's.
So you never said to Rodgers, why can't you play like Brady? Come on, I would have said it. No. So you look at the majority of Aaron's career in Green Bay, obviously, McCarthy's concept of the West Coast offense and what Brady was running in New England with McDaniels most of that time, two different offenses and two different ways they wanted to approach it, right? Like, I mean, I understand what McDaniels is doing. I mean, obviously a lot of short to intermediate routes, a lot of run game, play action, and you would get the shots over the top from time to time. Ours was completely different, right? A lot of medium to deeper routes, concepts that take longer and longer developing. And when you have that, it's not that Aaron didn't know where he had to go, but when you have longer developing concepts that naturally are going to take 3 seconds and some time, you're going to have to buy some time. Like, the offensive line isn't going to stand there and just lock these guys up and make it look like Madden for you for time to get bought. Like, he had to do what he had to do and buy time when these medium to longer routes were developing. And that's him buying time and, moving in the pocket. And also what that did was shift the defense around to create the look he wanted. When he moved, the defense would move with him, and that would create spacing for him to throw the football. Like, he was manipulating the secondary as he moved as well. There's multiple parts to that besides him just buying time. And then obviously you saw that change, right? How he changed when LaFleur got in, because the system changed. LaFleur came in and that ball was out of his hands fast. The way he played, obviously my 1 year with LaFleur and with him in there, the way the ball came out of his hands, how fast it was coming out of his hands, that 1 year I had with him, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. It was like this, he's like throwing the ball like instantly, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen. So, do you think it was hard for him to do?
Well, I think, yes. Why I think the offense, it took us a little while to get going because he was so used to a certain way, right? Like, and doing things a certain way. It's hard to trust those concepts and just let those throws go and trust things, throwing it over the middle and just letting things go. When obviously everyone knows his turnover ratio is so low and he's very smart with the football, and just being able to just drop back and just, release those, small slants over the middle that everyone's so used to seeing in the LaFleur offense, where the quarterback's trusting that those short throws right over the middle that are quick bang bang throws that are going to be open, the receiver's going to be there, no one's going to jump those routes. That takes trust and that takes time. And that's what, everyone has to get used to. And most importantly, the quarterback, right? He's the one pulling the trigger on it. So I'm not saying that's the only reason why we started a little bit slow that year, but everyone has to get used to things, right? And the way he had done it for so long, it takes time. And he implemented his own way through the LaFleur system as well, and took Matt's stuff and his stuff and blended it. And obviously, you saw what happened the following years, back-to-back MVPs. It looked like they'd been working together for years, how good that offense was running. It looked amazing. And to watch it on tape was even better. It looked flawless. So it was, it was a night and day difference of how he was playing, just from a schematic standpoint, from his obviously majority of his career in Green Bay to when Matt got there. And that's how Tom, obviously, when he got to Tampa with Bruce Arians and how they were running schematically and what they were asking him to do and how Tom was used to playing, and obviously in New England, that's just how Tom played and what they were asked of him and things like so. Like, to me, it's a lot about where you're at and what you're being asked to do and how you're used to doing things. And that's, that's what it is.
The Dr. Bryan Bulaga with Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we've got a new issue, 894 southbound, just south of Oklahoma Avenue. We've got the right shoulder blocked with a crash. So that's going to be slowing down, heading through that area. We've also got more delays continuing all the way down through the Hale to about 76th Street on 894 eastbound. On the westbound side, slowing out of the Mitchell Interchange all the way to 68th. Northbound 43 backing up out of the Marquette all the way to Keefe, and then more delays north of Capitol Drive to Hampton. Southbound slowing down from Capitol Drive all the way down to the KK River crossing. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ for Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 55. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a slight chance for showers, mainly to the north, high of 68 at the lake, 73 inland. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Rivals meet again when the Brewers battle the Cardinals June 12th through the 15th. Come for a duel between the Contreras brothers on the diamond and stay for one of the best weekends of summer. It's Tropical Day, Saturday, June 14th, featuring a Brewers straw hat with special tickets. Then take Dad to the Father's Day game for a Barrelman cooler giveaway on June 15th. It doesn't get any better than this. Get in on the action at Brewers.com.
This is Kyle Brusson Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
It's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. For me and my family, finding the perfect home is a journey, but we don't walk it alone. With the We Sell Group, Rob and Nick aren't just real estate agents, they're part of our family's team. They bring us options, perspective, and peace of mind. While they navigate the market, I can stay focused on all that life has in store. Because at the We Sell Group, it's not just about the home, it's about the people and the path it takes to get there. The We Sell Group, more than agents, part of your journey. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
And I proudly do nothing, and it's led by the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga, because at least on the radio, he's nicer. Take it away.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm great. We got a soccer game in a little while, so you and I have both we'll both have spent some time at the pitch today. So
I love it.
Thing.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. That's great to hear. All right. Obviously, you know what's coming. You know it. We all know it. Breaking news. What do you think? You expected it. You kind of were talking about it the last few weeks whenever it got brought up. Surprised, not surprised. What does this do for their obvious Sunday night matchup? That was scheduled randomly to be a Sunday night game when it had no business being a Sunday night game as the schedulers laid it out before the season started.
Yeah, look, we know that Aaron Rodgers was in contact with the Steelers. He had been keeping Mike Tomlin in the loop. He visited there on March 21st. I was just going back in my archives. Unfortunately, you were not on the field that day. You were gone already. But, I was thinking back immediately to that 2021 game at Lambeau where he and Tomlin exchanged those looks and smirks and nods when Rodgers was trying to get a free play and Tomlin called timeout. I think people forget, and I'm using this in my story on channel3000.com, that while Mike Tomlin did prevent the free play, on the very next play, Aaron Rodgers threw a 23-yard touchdown pass to Randall Cobb, and the Packers went on to win that game. And Rodgers went on to win his second straight and fourth overall MVP on that day. So, look, this has been a terribly kept secret. The only possibility that I thought there was that he wouldn't be a Steeler was if somehow, J.J. McCarthy came to the Twin Cities this offseason and fell flat on his face, and Kevin O'Connell was like, oh my God, we cannot start this guy. Based on the conversations I've had with my friends who cover the Vikings, that did not happen. They are really excited about where he's at. We'll see if that's well-placed excitement or not. But once it became clear that he was not going to go to the Vikings, this was really his only play, right? He didn't really want to go to the Giants, and then they signed Russell Wilson. Like, this was it. If he wanted to play, this was where he was going to end up playing. I think it's a good fit. I think he's going to find success. I will always wonder what might have happened in New York if he had not ruptured his Achilles. I would love to see that alternate universe where he stays healthy for the entire 23 and 24 seasons and what that looks like and who's still employed and how he's viewed. But that's not where we live in 2025, and now he's going to live in is it the Steel City or the Iron City? Never sure about that.
I like to say the Steel City. But I don't know. I think they have like different names for it, like on different days of the week. It's just me. But I don't know. Do you think now? You said good fit, and I think you look from a You look from a, organizational standpoint, stability. It's probably the closest thing to the Packers that we can think of, right? Like it probably is the closest thing. But from a personnel standpoint, right? Like you look at this offense from the Steelers, and obviously I'm going to go straight to what I know because, I don't know anything about running backs. I know what good running backs are because I've blocked for a few. I know what good wide receivers are because I've got to watch a lot of them. But I know what good offensive lines are. I've played on a few, and I've got to watch a lot of them as well. I got to play against some, and I know guys that have played on a lot of them. This one isn't that type of offensive line. How do you think that is going to work itself out? Because obviously Aaron isn't, 31 anymore or 28. He needs time in the pocket to be effective. How do you think that's going to pan itself out?
Yeah, I am not a smart man, Jenny, but I know what good offensive lines look like. And they're not. I was talking about this with KBN and Kyle Wallace, and look, I couldn't tell you who their starting five are. I don't cover the Steelers. I got enough to handle with the starting five of the Packers and the center not showing up because he reasonably wants his contract adjusted and competition at left tackle and phony competition at right tackle, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, I was just reading something by Judy Batista on NFL.com, and, what you said is exactly what I meant about the good fit. Like it's an established coach who has won a Super Bowl, who has a history, who is not going to let Aaron Rodgers do whatever the hell he wants. That's for sure. Unlike maybe the way things played out in New York. So that I think is a good fit. I think that's what he needs. I think that's the kind of, I hope he, dare I say, humbles himself to just, put all that respect that he's talked about having for Tomlin into practice and not create unnecessary drama and maybe even give up the Pat McAfee show. But from a personnel standpoint, I'm not even sure, they just spent a boatload to pay after acquiring DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf ain't Devontae Adams. Like he's fast and he's been productive, but it's not like they have a bunch of history together. They're not going to bring in Randall Cobb out of retirement. Devontae's playing for the Rams now. Like he's going to have to dance with the lineup that the Steelers brung him. And if they can find more, personnel options, that great. I don't know what those are going to look like, though. Where are you getting guys at the 11th hour now? Like, I think they talked to Gabe Davis. Like, I'm sorry, Gabe Davis has had some good moments in the NFL, but he's not going to be a difference maker for your offense. Are they going to trade for Romeo Doubs, as was rumored for a period there? I don't know, maybe, but I don't remember Aaron Rodgers being all that tight with Romeo Doubs during their 1 year together. So you're 100% right. I would be. What is their offensive line going to be? Is it going to be better than what they had in front of Russell Wilson last year? Because if not, that's the kind of thing that short circuits an entire season. And although his ruptured Achilles was his fault, right? Like that ball was supposed to come out. Not that you aren't familiar with Aaron Rodgers not throwing the ball when he was supposed to, because you certainly blocked for your friend many times on extended plays that were not designed to be extended. That play specifically, if the ball comes out, then we get to live maybe in that universe that I was talking about before, where he actually stays healthy for the last 2 years. And maybe people look at the Jets and his time there completely differently. Maybe he's even still there and they're chasing a Super Bowl, but instead we obviously know that they're not. And how about that, by the way, that they play each other in week one? Like, we obviously are fixated on the Packers-Steelers game, but the fact that he gets both of his former teams on the schedule, plus the Bears, who are also on the schedule, I mean, that's crazy that it worked out that way.
And week one with the Jets, that is going to be. Are they in New York?
That's a good question. I don't know that off the top of my head. But think about what he said on McAfee a few months ago about how he flew out there on his own dime, and that they basically, what the hell did he fly out there for? Just for him to be disrespected and told that his services were no longer needed.
All right, the vote from both of you. Which would Rodgers like to win more, Packers or Jets?
Jets.
I'd probably say Jets because it's so recent and how bad it went. You know what I mean? Like how sour it went and how it ended.
But I don't think he wants to beat the Packers too. I mean, I don't want to sound like I don't think that he wants to beat them and play extremely well against them too, Brian. But I don't think there's the same level of animus as he feels toward Aaron Glenn right now, which I'm guessing he really wants to stick it, where on him.
All right, question for both of you. Was there any real chance that he was going to go to Minnesota?
I think if J.J. McCarthy was not who they thought he was, or if he had some sort of setback in the time frame that would have allowed for it. I mean, Rodgers said he talked to Kevin O'Connell on multiple occasions. They've known each other for a long time. But the only reason there isn't that possibility is because clearly the guy that they drafted 10th overall out of Michigan, they feel really good about him, and they feel really good about where he's at health-wise. They feel really good about what Kevin O'Connell can get out of him, especially after what he just got out of Sam Darnold. So, I mean, was there ever a chance? Yeah, but it was contingent solely on the Minnesota Vikings deciding that their chosen quarterback wasn't ready, because what they would have done would have said, he wasn't able to practice at all last year because of being on injured reserve. Because remember, he took a medical red shirt. J.J. McCarthy did. You can't practice when you're on IR. So he got nothing but mental reps all last season. A little bit like Love when he was the number 3 quarterback throughout the 2020 season. And, he didn't even get to wear his jersey on game day at any point his rookie year. And so if they had what they had seen from J.J. McCarthy had been, oh, God, this guy's there's no way he's going to be ready for opening day, then you get Rodgers as your bridge quarterback for this year. You got all that talent around, and then McCarthy becomes the starter in 2026 with an entire year being around Rodgers. That's different. But they obviously did not see anything that raised alarm bells about him, and so they were not interested.
Yeah, I mean, I'm exactly with Jason. I think there was a possibility of it for sure. I mean, and that's kind of why I kept saying this is taking so long into this part of the off-season program because they wanted to see what they had, right? They wanted to see what McCarthy was able to do in this part of the offseason program and how he's able to run the offense, how he's able to command the huddle and do things like that, because it's not playing a game or able to, judge him off that. But you can learn a lot about a quarterback and how he's controlling things in this part of the year when guys really, don't want to be there doing it. You could learn a lot from a young guy and see how he's operating. So, yeah, I think there was a possibility, but Jason explained it perfectly. I mean, he hit the nail on the head with it.
Sorry, Doc. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's exactly. But Jason, when's the next OTA that you guys get to go to?
Well, so we're done. All we have left now is the mandatory minicamp, and as you know, it's usually 3 weeks of OTAs. Instead, it's 2. So, we should have another OTA next week and then the mandatory minicamp the week after that. But because they're going to report to training camp and have the first practice on July 23rd, LaFleur and many other coaches around the league decided basically we're going to send our guys out earlier than we normally would, so they cut OTAs by a week. So instead of having 9 practices, they only have 6. So I'm done with my 2 OTAs I got to attend, and then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is the mandatory minicamp, and we'll have those practices, and then we'll say arrivederci to the Packers players until late July.
All right. So what do you think? I mean, obviously, we don't know if Elton's going to be showing up. Mini camp, just as everyone knows, what is going to happen in this mandatory mini camp is very similar to how OTAs are already going. And how you described it, Jason, is very low tempo, right? It's very low tempo in how this has gone this spring. But do you think you guys are gonna learn anything about position battles or anything else from this mini camp, or is this all going to be decided when we show up and we're learning things on July 23rd?
Yeah, I mean, look, we asked LaFleur because I am curious. Like, again, you have not been out of the league that long, buddy, and yet it is so different. Like, even OTAs are different. I made that joke this morning with you on our show about Jeff Saturday turning and saying, "Does that look like non-contact to you?" That was 2012. Like, I know that seems like a long time, but that's 12 years or whatever it was ago. Like, now they're like glorified jog throughs, and then they go full speed for the 2-minute drill, and that's it.
Yep.
And so the question that I had for LaFleur was, is it going to be the same for the minicamp, or do you at least, like, again, you can't go out there in pads. You're not going to be hitting each other. Obviously not. But, like, don't you need to ratchet it up a little bit before you say goodbye to these guys? Like, they're running a bunch of 3/4 speed 7-on-7 periods. Like, I just, a wise man once said, Joe Philbin has a lot of good ones. They're not all his original work. Him and his, it's not X's and O's, it's Jimmy's and Joe's and all his lines that he had over the years. But one of them is, the only way you get better at playing football is by playing football. And whatever they're doing, I guess it's theoretically football, but it is a very light and less strenuous version of that game. And to me, that I'm fine with it. If Matt LaFleur thinks this is what's best for his team, who am I to argue? But I do feel like I've seen a lot of really good football teams go considerably harder in the off season than what I have seen during the 2 practices that I have attended this off season. That is undeniable.
All right, Jason, we've run out of time. Other than for me to tell you this, I know you're going to interview Aaron Rodgers soon, and when you do, you must inform him that as a favor to me, who got him 2 rounds at Augusta, he has to get Bryan Bulaga on the same course.
I thought you meant on the Steelers roster.
No.
Because he looks more like a tight end now than a tackle. So that sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, that would not be good.
I agree. But
so he's got to get Bulaga onto
Augusta.
Because now you don't have the juice anymore?
No, as a favor for me getting him on there twice, I can then tell him, because you now know so many people you can get on whenever you want, Aaron Rodgers, you need to get Bulaga on Augusta.
Okay. I can't. So you can't get him on Augusta anymore?
No. I'm done. I'm down to one out. I'm down to one. Have I played there? No, I don't need to play there. I've walked the course, been there for the Masters.
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Have you actually been there to pick up lost golf balls? Because that's really what you do.
I never found one lost golf ball at Augusta. They wouldn't let me go close enough to the water to start looking in there.
True. So you got your big scooper. All right, guys.
Thanks,
take
Jason.
care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. By the way, all of you that wish to comment on Aaron Rodgers, we are doing a special extended show from 6 to 7, which I really want to give people just a chance among other comments from Bryan Bulaga. Just whatever you want to say. Aaron Rodgers is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Take it away. You only get one comment. You get 30 seconds, 60 seconds max. What do you want to say? That'll be between 6 and 7. Back to the doctor next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 894, backing up from Greenfield Avenue all the way down past an accident scene at Oklahoma Avenue. It's off on the right shoulder, all the way down through the Hale interchange onto 894 eastbound. Eastbound 94 is going to be backed up, heading through from Highway F all the way past Barker Road to Brookfield Road, and then back on the brakes coming out of the Zoo interchange to 27th Street, with the westbound side slowing down out of the Marquette to 27th Street, and then from 92nd all the way through past Calhoun. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 55. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a slight chance for showers, mainly to the north, a high of 68 at the lake, 73 inland. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Visit any of their 6 locations in the Milwaukee market today. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Freddie Coleman.
For the first time, we can actually say that the East has to run through the Indiana Pacers. And if you're the New York Knicks, whoever you hire to replace Tom Thibodeau, say whatever you want about Thibodeau, you cannot quibble with the results. 4 out of 5 years he was coach there, they made the playoffs. Got to the Eastern Conference Finals this year against the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, they lost in 6. Many people believe they should have won that series. I get it. I understand it. But whoever you hire in the New York Knicks to replace that guy who players believed in and went through a wall for, you better make at least the Eastern Conference Finals. And you better make sure, if you meet Indiana again in the playoff series, that you don't go 0 for 3 like you've gone 0 for 2 in the last 2 years, because now the East runs through Indiana. With so many other teams having questions, they're the one team in the East that's a contender that does not have any kind of question about them going forward.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
He used to be the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga. Now he's Surfside Bryan Bulaga. Take it away.
That's right. I am here for my friends at Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there is nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break that heat. Why I like Surfside so much, it just tastes cleaner than all those other drinks you see on the shelf. And when you take a sip of this, believe me, you're not going to regret drinking it. It doesn't leave your mouth feeling all sugary and gross like all the other ones. Trust me on this. They got a bunch of great flavors, like my favorite, the half tea, half lemonade, peach tea, raspberry lemonade, and so many more. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes. Sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
The doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga. I wanted to address, in addition to Aaron Rodgers, everybody should know that Elton Jenkins will be in the starting lineup for the Packers in the offensive line. Everybody should know that. It's a guarantee. 100%. Bryan Bulaga, would you like to join me on this? There's absolutely no way. I didn't say he's going to be the center, but however this plays out, Elton Jenkins will be a starter on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can't afford to have it not work out. They just can't. You just can't have it happen. So, whatever way you see it working out, he's going to be there. I mean, how long they push this thing out? I mean, I think right now, because they have time, they're playing chicken with each other, and that's the way this is going to go, right? Because the time is there. This is the time to do that, and they're both stalemating about it. That's fine. That's great. But when it's time to actually go and get this team ready, something's getting done, because it has to get done. He's, if not their best lineman, one of their top 2 linemen. We see what happens when he is removed from this offensive line based on what happened in Philadelphia last year. You made all your moves this offseason for this offensive line based on him moving to the center position. You need him in the starting lineup. Period. End of discussion. It needs to get done.
And on the other hand, that does not mean that they want to be committed to him beyond this year. I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, and they can figure this out without doing that. And I think that's doable with guaranteeing some money, adding a voided year, paying the guaranteed money that they agree upon. And then next year is still, it is what it is.
Why would I do that if I'm the Packers? Why? And that's not what we do. He's got 2 years left. What is Jenkins going to do? Is he going to
continue to do?
He's going to
continue to do what he's doing.
All right,
continue to do what he's doing.
All right, then fine. Then I put Sean Ryan in at center, and then he stays at guard, and then that assumes for sure that he's leaving after this year. If he is a center, I mean, if I'm the Packers, I wouldn't feel that you could tell me why I have to do it. Now, I said what he should say is, if you don't give me some guarantee, I'm not playing center. But he apparently doesn't want to say that. So, other than that, I don't know what threat he has to sit out the whole time. Well, he's going to not play. He's making too much money this year not to play, right?
Well, I mean, to me, yeah. I mean, I think he's making too much money not to play. I mean, for me personally, I think it's like 14 or something like that.
Right, so if you were the Packers, you'd say, hey, I want you to play center, and we don't guarantee players in your situation. You know that. Call Bryan Bulaga. He'll explain how it works. And so that after this year, the next year, we'll see where we're at. Right?
Yeah. Well, listen, and that sounds like extreme. Like, I mean, yeah, like you explain it that way, it's very easy to side with the team on it, and that is very understandable from you look at it that way. But I just see it from his standpoint as he's the one taking all the risk.
Yeah.
He's moving positions, so that's why he's for the greater good of the team. So for the greater good of the team, he is shifting positions. So the team should, and then in this case, give a little bit of this contract back to him guaranteed for the position move. And that's what he's asking.
I agree totally. That's why he should hire me. I'll do it for free. I'm calling for Jenkins. Here's how it works. You don't give him something above what you normally do, he's not going to play center. And I checked. You can't make him play center. And he's good enough to know you also can't play this year without him somewhere in the offensive line. My name is Homer. Phone number 414-308-4785. Yes, I give my cell phone number on the radio. What? That's the part I don't get. He has total control. And if they don't want him at center that badly, fine. They don't give me any more money, and I know going before next season, I might be done because you don't want to pay that last year, and they're not going to give him probably another contract.
Because the cap hits like 25 or 26 or something
again,
like
it's
that.
what you explained. That's when you get rid of him, right?
Yeah, that would be the year you would do that.
Right. But I just think when you say he has total control, I think he has total control when they tell him they want him in a new position. I mean, I don't know. You could have said, if they said they want you to go from, I don't know, you'd say, no, I'm staying at right tackle. Or you're going to have to pay me to make me do what you want me to do, and I don't want to do. And we know this, Jenkins can play as a guard in the NFL, another 5 years, 3 years, 4 years? Yeah.
Another 4 or 5 years easily.
I don't need to play center.
Yeah. Man, he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the only time in my life I felt like I could be a good agent.
Well, I mean, in this situation, I feel like it's very easy. Like, it is very easy in this situation.
But they haven't done the Packers have not done the very easy, right? They've chosen.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't, and here's the thing, we don't actually know what is actually being said and demanded. That's the part about this that makes this a little, which makes it a little uneasy, because is there demands that we don't know that are being made from the player side, which is holding it up, right? Like, I don't know that. I don't think it's something crazy, and I don't think it's that, but I don't know. Because if it's something simple, you would think this would get done, and you would get this continuity going.
Other than it's simple for the Packers, Brian, this is what we do. This is what we do. I don't care if he changes positions. I don't care if there's nothing. There's no situation that requires us to address this situation, right? Any differently than we've done. And we've done it with good players in the past, right? So this is not, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's their approach. That's 100% their approach.
They're not willing to change.
No question.
Dr. Aaron Holterbeck and his team make vision care a top priority. I know because I went at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office, and he said he's been doing great for 20 years. But he said, we got to do better. I said, well, just keep doing what you're doing. No. We got to help people more. So we're adding Dr. Nausheen Abbas to the team. They're accepting new patients, and they take care of everything. Vision care, whatever the age, whatever the situation, they have a specialist. Don't mess with your vision. Trust the experts from Holterbeck Eye Center in Brookfield, near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Again, now accepting new patients. That doesn't happen often. Learn more about their services at holterbeck.com. Fourth quarter with the pro and the doctor, and he'll have comments more on Aaron Rodgers next hour, special extra hour as well. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine. and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
The Protect the Package Golf Outing takes place on August 16 at Ironwood Golf Course. Come be a part of the most unique outing in the state while helping loved ones battle cancer. Proceeds benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation. Sign up your foursome at thistimetomorrow.org under the Events tab.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, a special 6 to 7 hour on the announcement of Aaron Rodgers so that everybody can get a chance to make a 30 to 60 second comment on Aaron Rodgers' plans to sign with the Steelers tomorrow. The news comes more than 80 days since the start of free agency and 70 days after Rodgers visited the Steelers. It is of importance because the Packers play the Steelers. I thought that the Steelers might be a favorite given it's at home, but Pebble says no.
Yeah, it's Packers -1.5. Green Bay is -120. The Steelers are +100.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. I believe that Aaron Rodgers will, that Jordan Love will have a better season than Aaron Rodgers. I believe the Packers will win more games than the Steelers. But old people can get it together, not for as long, but for every now and then. And I believe at home, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers will defeat the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I don't know that I can even ask Bryan Bulaga. You played for the Packers. I don't know how you can ever pick against the Packers. They're family. But
yeah, I mean, it's
one game to me is the key. It's nothing more than one game.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be well. First of all, let's put this in because what week is that, Pebble? Like what week is that game?
It's October 26th.
October the 26th, Sunday night.
So it's okay. It'll be interesting to see how each team is rounding into form at that point because at that point you shake off the rust of the start of the season, right? Like you're going to start to see teams start to actually play good at that point in the year. So like you're going to get the best versions.
It's the Packers' 7th game. It's probably the 8th for Pittsburgh. The Packers have that early bye week. Go ahead.
Yes. So you get to see the best versions of the team at that point. So it'll be interesting to see where each team is at, right? And how they're playing. It's going to be a very very raucous environment for the Packers to go into because don't think the Steelers fans aren't going to get up for that game. They're definitely going to be up for that game. They have, former Packer quarterback, obviously legend quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback as their quarterback with the Packers coming in. I mean, that place is going to be absolutely nuts. And if the Steelers are playing good football too, it's going to be a wild atmosphere. I do think Aaron is going to play well in the game. I don't see a way that he doesn't play well in the game. So yeah, I mean that's going to be a tricky test for Green Bay. That's going to be tough.
And I would think that as the Steeler players will want to win for Aaron Rodgers because his teammates generally do like him, I would think the Packer players every bit as much will want to win for Jordan Love.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. They're not going to want Jordan to lose that game, and the Steelers players aren't going to want Aaron to lose that game. Like it's going to be a heated game. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be must-watch TV. I mean that's and the NFL knew what they were doing when they scheduled it. So it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, where these teams are as the season clicks on leading up to this point. Obviously, we expect Green Bay to be in a pretty good position, or at least we hope they're in a good position as this game approaches. I don't know what Pittsburgh's even schedule is, right? I have no idea. I haven't looked at it. I probably will now once I have time to.
You can wait till the week of the game. It's an AFC game. As far as insignificant games, it's near the top of that list for the season.
No, but I'm just saying. Like, can Pittsburgh's record be pretty good going into that game? Like, you know what I mean? Can they have good momentum going into that game? Is essentially what I'm getting at. Because if they're playing good football, man, it's going to make things tough there. It really will. Yeah. So for Green Bay, that is. So it'll be fun. And I know things have changed offensively for LaFleur, and things always change, right? They evolve. Calls evolve, things, minor things change, but core principles stay the same. And Aaron remembers everything. Like he has a memory like no other. So he's certainly going to remember a lot of things from his time there that he'll probably be able to help the defense out on. Probably calls and formations and things like that that he'll probably pass along to the D linemen. Most likely will try to help out as good as he can, especially for the pass rushers, the silent cadence and things like that, how much he can help out with. He'll do his best with all that because he's going to want to give TJ Watt and those guys the best advantage possible
they could
be
have
successful.
They could have a good record. By the way, their bye week is the same as the Packers. I don't know if that's but they play at the Jets, home against Seattle, at New England, home against Minnesota, the bye, home against Cleveland, at Cincinnati, and then the Packers at home.
And they technically could have a good record.
Yeah.
They could have a good record. So that could be a winning record game against teams that are fighting for position in their, conference. So like, That could be a marquee matchup right there.
It is going to be a marquee matchup, but I would emphasize today, as I will every day, including the day that it's played. this game will be viewed as way, way, way more important than it really is. Somebody mentioned about an NFC. I mean, every NFC North game is more important than this game at Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. It's way more important, but we look at. I also look at it this way too. Green Bay needs wins, right? Like wins in general, because I think how competitive the North is going to be.
Good point.
Wins where you can get them, you need them,
and they'll be better than Pittsburgh. They should win even at Pittsburgh.
They have better players than Pittsburgh. If you look up and down Green Bay's roster and up and down Pittsburgh's roster, Green Bay has a more talented roster. Like they just do. Like we were talking about Pittsburgh's, weapons for Aaron. I mean, Green Bay has an abundance of weapons, right? And the offensive line for Green Bay is much better. You look at Pittsburgh, they got DK Metcalf. I think the tight end's pretty good for Pittsburgh. And that's about it.
Yeah, their offense has been a mess.
Yeah. So, and defensively, obviously, Pittsburgh is strong, right? They got some good pieces there, and Watt and the safety and Highsmith, the other outside backer. I think they got a pretty good nose tackle. I think they got a good corner. They got some good defensive pieces. But I think Green Bay has good defensive pieces as well. So, you look at how this is stacked out. I mean, Green Bay has the better overall roster. So, you would think Green Bay goes into this favored. I think the 1 point or 1.5 is a little, that's early season, betting for, what it is. But you look at them on paper, Green Bay is the better team. So, by all means, you got to take these wins no matter where they come. So, the North games are more important, but go in there to win. Need to get W's.
Points scored, Pittsburgh was 16th. Last year, points given up, they were 8th. Hour 2, your calls, 1-800-990-3776. And I will not interrupt. You will get, Pebble will be in charge between 30 and 60 seconds to say whatever you want to the statement, Aaron Rodgers signing tomorrow with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Preston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
894 southbound, right about at Greenfield Avenue, we've got a crash, and that one has the 2 right lanes blocked. Be prepared for some big delays backing up through the Zoo interchange in all directions. As a matter of fact, you're seeing delays on westbound 94, starting 27th Street to about Hawley Road, then right into the Zoo interchange, going to be very slow. So be careful with that. Beyond that, we've got delays from Highway 100 into Waukesha County. Southbound 41, heavy from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Northbound is going to be slow from just north of Watertown Plank Road up past Capitol. And then southbound 43, backups now from just before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to about the KK River crossing. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low 55. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, slight chance for showers, mainly to the north, a high of 68 at the lakefront, 73 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as 2 of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
A special second hour because of the announcement that Aaron Rodgers will be signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow. 1-800-990-3776, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. A second hour. You get 30 to 60 seconds without interruption to say, or text, I guess, whatever you want regarding the announcement, Aaron Rodgers signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow. The Carbless Talk and Text line, 1-800-990-3776. And we will start with the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga. We'll give him more than 60 seconds if he'd like. For the first thought you had or the comment that you want to make above everything else in 60 seconds about Aaron Rodgers signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Take it away, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first and foremost, I'm excited for him, and I'm happy that he made a decision that he thinks is best for him, that he wants to continue to play. I'm excited to watch him play. I'm not sure personally. I mean, if it's just me looking at it, I'm not sure that I love the fit in Pittsburgh. I get it's a great organization that has a bunch of stability, which is very, close to what he had in Green Bay, and which I think Tomlin is a very steady head coach, and what he brings to that locker room is very good. So I think that's going to be a good fit as well. I'm just concerned about personnel and how that's going to match up with him and kind of what he's going to be able to get out of that offense with what's there right now. I mean, we'll see. He's going to elevate the group, but how much can he elevate that group is my question. But I'm excited for him. I'm going to be watching those games. It's going to be kind of wild to see him wearing, a Steeler uniform. But I wish him the best of luck, and it'll be fun to watch. That's for sure.
1-800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and Text line. I get to go second. Start the clock. I'm not Bryan Bulaga. I think this is horrible because it makes the Pittsburgh Steelers a better team against the Packers. Nothing matters to me other than how it affects the Green Bay Packers. Other than this game, I will watch no Pittsburgh Steelers games. I don't give a hoot how he plays any more than I care about any other quarterback in the NFL unless it relates to the Packers. But it makes it tough this season for the Packers a little bit harder. How will I think he do? I believe he will do well. The numbers show that the last half of last season he was much better, meaning it probably was something as far as coming back from the Achilles heel. But I care as much about the long snapper for the Chargers as I do about Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback for the Steelers, other than for that one game. And I think they'd be much weaker with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Ranger. What's his name?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. No one will believe me. I don't care. I have no interest in Aaron Rodgers. Zero, other than that it affects the Packers. All right, 1-800-990-3776. Pebble, you said we had one?
Yep, we got a text here to the Talking Text line, the Carbless Talking Text line, 800-990-3776. Less is more. A question for Bryan from John in Milwaukee. He says, does Bryan know if David Bakhtiari is in any shape to play this season? And if so, would he sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a good question.
Do you have any interest in signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way?
No, I have no interest in signing. I'll make that very clear. To my knowledge, I don't think Dave I don't think Dave is of weight to play offensive line at this point. I think when he stepped away, I think he stepped away for health reasons and to focus on himself and his growing family and all that. And I think that's what he did. So I doubt.
Does
Dave,
he weigh less or more?
Less.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Like less. I think he lost.
A lot of linemen after they get done playing gain weight, don't they, or not? Am I wrong?
I think a lot of linemen, I think a lot of guys lose weight.
Okay. Because they're asked to be so heavy as a player now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and if you have, like Dave had knee injuries, I had knee injuries. Like when you start to lose weight, your knees feel better. Like you take that off your knees, you just your knees feel better, your back feels better. But I think Dave's lost a lot of weight, and I think, he's got, and obviously I don't know that, but I just don't think he's going to do it. Now, I could be totally wrong, and he may do it, but I just don't see it. It seems like he's enjoying retirement. It seems like he's having a good time with it. So I'd say no, would be my guess.
1-800-990-3776, the Carb Blues Talking text line. You will not be interrupted. Before we get to those calls, I do want to address Aaron Rodgers' legacy. I'll comment, and then I'll give it to the doctor as well. There's absolutely no significance to his legacy at all. Aaron Rodgers is viewed as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the position. He's multiple-time MVP. And if he fails with Pittsburgh, he will be among a list of great players and great quarterbacks who were terrible at the end of their career. Him personally, I'm sure he wants another chance so that he can finish strong and prove that he's not some old fart, just like many quarterbacks were, mostly and many because of injuries. But so if he stinks, 1 touchdown and 25 interceptions, no impact on the legacy of Aaron Rodgers, still one of the greatest. Some view him as the greatest quarterback in terms of how he played the position. And it's like those teams, Father Time won again. No blame whatsoever. The blame will be on the Jets and the Steelers for not realizing the significance of age, even for one of the greats ever. And Tomlin, I mean, it's amazing that he has such a great reputation as he does, given what little, if any, that Pittsburgh has done for many years. So if he hasn't taken heat now, I'm not sure he would take it unless they were like 3-13. They're willing to live or die with Mike Tomlin. And being 500 or above 500 for a number of years is about as insignificant as anything you could ever have in terms of as a positive thought. And now, to the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga, on legacies.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I don't think there's anything that he did with the Jets or he's going to do with the Steelers that's going to impact. The only thing he can do is improve his legacy, in my opinion, right? If he wins a bunch of games or gets to a Super Bowl or, whatever happens, I think all he can do is improve it, because if he does, say they're not good or say they go 500, that doesn't make anything different about who Aaron Rodgers was as a player or anything he accomplished or achieved. Like, he is who he, is as a quarterback. And you're right. Like, he probably will go down as one of the best to ever play the position. So no, it has absolutely no impact at all of what happens this year and what happened with the Jets. I mean, I think the Achilles injury, and you mentioned it a little while ago about how his numbers started to turn later on last year. I think the Achilles injury last year had a lot to do with that team's struggles offensively because of him coming back from it, him getting comfortable, the rehab with it, and just kind of becoming a football player again. It's not just being a normal human and walking around on it. It's playing football and trusting it again and getting chased down, getting hit, planting, throwing, doing everything. And you saw later in the year, started to look normal again. Accurate throwing, everything was looking like Aaron Rodgers. So I would imagine another offseason of doing normal training and workouts. It's going to look, most likely similar or even better. But again, I go back to the Steelers. We don't know what they have from a personnel standpoint, but from Aaron Rodgers' legacy, no impact. Absolutely no impact what happens this year in Pittsburgh.
I should have mentioned the really note about Tomlin is that they have not won a playoff game in 8 seasons. And I'm sorry, you're the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't win a playoff game for 8 seasons, you're fired. I don't know what the number is, and maybe less than 8, but 8, you're done. Well, they still want Mike Tomlin around, and that's fine. But imagine LaFleur 8 years in a row without a playoff win.
So starting last year, right? So starting this against Philly, they lose against Philly as the 7th seed. 7 more years, they don't win a playoff game.
Not
it ain't
a
happening.
single one in any year.
Yep, it ain't happening.
No,
it ain't happening.
Fact, I would guess maybe 5. I mean, 5 or probably 6 at the most. And yes, you have an issue with Pittsburgh, similar to Green Bay in terms of, I'd have to go back and look to see when Roethlisberger finished, but you're dealing with the same thing of not having a quarterback. But yeah, think of that. When we should look, last time the Packers went 8 years, the last time a coach still had a job after not making the playoffs for 8 straight years. We'll go to the Institute to check that. And to the callers, 1-800-990-3776. Carbless Talk and text line texted as well. Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers tomorrow. Take it away for up to 60 seconds with no interruption. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
I had nightmares at my birth mom's house. It was really scary living there. There were always drugs in the house. The police came, and that's when I was placed into foster care.
Right now in the U.S., more than 100,000 children, like Ariana, are waiting for a family.
Once I was adopted, I definitely felt safe.
Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find permanent homes for children in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
It's happened again. Another local organization switching to business technology from James Imaging Systems. This time, it's St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care. CFO Sally Parente.
We were unhappy with our previous vendor. It was always a big production. We also had some issues with pricing.
And now with James Imaging Systems,
the service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. We're getting value here as well.
Just what you'd expect from James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed company. AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation.
I love that they're a local company. They've been a wonderful business partner for St. Anne Center.
Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
The big gig is back, starting June 19th. 9 days, hundreds of musical acts. Summerfest in Milwaukee is the event of the summer. Plus, tune into 94.5 ESPN all 3 weekends for Summerfest Saturday. Enter for your chance to win tickets to the ESPN Wisconsin app or visit summerfest.com. We'll see you out there.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
From the biggest stars
to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walton. Right now, UWD is running their home improvement season sale. Payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. Call 414-410-2000 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
1-800-990-3776, an extended Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Aaron Rodgers signing tomorrow, I would say appropriately as expected, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1-800-990-3776. On my favorite site, Twitter. Mark my words, with Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph bringing their conspiracy-addled juju about political stuff to the Steelers, Mike Tomlin will have his first losing season ever. The Steelers have been my second favorite NFL team since I was a kid, but I hope they go 0-17 with Rodgers. I'm trying to think. I think there was a time where I really wanted Randy Moss to lose. But I don't know that even I was at 0-17. Trying to think who.
That sounds more than just like I don't like Aaron Rodgers as a football
It's like
player.
what I say about Twitter. This is John. This is not telling us anything about Rodgers. It's telling us about John. That's the greatness of Twitter. All right, Andrew Brandt used to work for the Packers. He was their cap guy and very good at it, I think. Aaron Rodgers has the rare ability to decide on which team he played and when he would join them. The Steelers wanted him and were willing to wait for him. Whatever he said, whatever he did, they were still there waiting with the light on. Not many people could do that. I would say that's accurate. Well, you've and Tausch both say it. The league runs everybody. Nobody's bigger than the league, but Aaron Rodgers' movements would say he's been about as big as anybody, given what he's been able. I mean, you all in a career at some point have something happen that you wouldn't have wanted. It seems that Aaron Rodgers has been able to get just about everything he's wanted, right?
I'm sure there's things that he's wanted that he hasn't gotten.
Okay.
I'm sure there's things for sure. And, obviously he signed with Pittsburgh. We don't know for sure that Pittsburgh is the move he wanted right off the get.
Good point.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
No, I think I'll go with you on that. You're being nice to me. I'll be Bryan Bulaga. Homer, we know he wanted to go to the Vikings. Just wasn't available. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, the Steelers. Listen, I think he certainly wasn't going to the Giants.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, wasn't going there.
But the Steelers allowed him the amount of time, which you would agree is incredibly rare.
Yes. Like, nobody gets that type of time. Nobody gets to just kind of make their own decisions like that. I mean, he's he's one of those rare cases because he's Aaron Rodgers, man. Like he's one of the greatest to ever do it.
All right,
like
here's what Adam Schefter said, and you can comment on that as well. Steelers never wavered in their belief that Aaron Rodgers eventually would sign with Pittsburgh. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin loomed large in this entire situation. Tomlin was a drawing card for Rodgers and was happy to work within Rodgers' timeline. He is a major reason that Rodgers will be a Steeler. Well, I would agree with that because if Tomlin didn't want him, he wouldn't be there. It's pretty much that simple with everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, Tomlin is obviously he besides, the owners of that organization, Tomlin, for how long he's been there, he runs everything about what happens with the Steelers. So if Tomlin didn't want Aaron there, this thing would have been over a long time ago. It would have never happened. So the fact that they waited for him, Tomlin wanted Aaron to be there pretty bad. They wanted Aaron there this entire time. They were willing to give Aaron this time, and they had their sights set on him from the jump, right? They saw this as an opportunity, and they were going to give Aaron all the time he needed.
We'll try to think, and we'll take a break. Yeah. If you can think of a player who appeared to have as much, or a team was willing to do as much for that player as the Steelers were willing to do with Rodgers. Also, Phil and Cedarburg is coming up, and I need a little time to get ready for him. He's a handful. Extra Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. I think it would be the 6th or 7th quarter. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US. Kyle Brust-Nortman's Ben Brust here for Grimal & Associates Insurance. They do what anyone with a growing family, like myself, does. Protect what matters most. Grimal & Associates specializes in coverage that's tailored exactly to you. Clients aren't just policies. They're part of their community. Personalized American Family Insurance back service, expert guidance, and genuine commitment. Grimal & Associates focuses on building trusted relationships and providing peace of mind. The same values they've had for over 30 years in the Milwaukee area. Connect with Grimal & Associates at teamgrimal.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
Shock. Unbelievable. What are they doing? So many different descriptions, so many different reactions, so many different opinions. After the New York Knicks, after having Tom Thibodeau completely change everything around and make them a relevant basketball team again, going to the playoffs 4 out of 5 years, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, taking down the Boston Celtics along the way, and the New York Knicks said, not good enough, and they fired him yesterday with an extension on the table that he had already signed to kick in this year to give him $30 million more. Wow, I guess that's good work if you don't want to get it if you're Tom Thibodeau. So now what if you're the New York Knicks? This was a Leon Rose general manager decision, and James Dolan, the owner of the New York Knicks, signed off on it. Whoever's going to take his place, whatever guy is out there, one word of advice from me, Freddie Coleman, this PSA for you. You better get to the Eastern Conference Finals with this group or a different group, or else. And that or else never works in New York City. In 60 seconds, now or never for this superstar.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Yeah, we know about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Oklahoma City Thunder, trying to win a championship while being the MVP and becoming more known. Same thing with Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, trying to be more known with those two combatants in their teams playing in the NBA Finals starting tomorrow night. But if anybody's under the gun in a now-or-never mode as a superstar, it is Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. Last year, they came close, got to a 7-game against the Florida Panthers, and they fell short. This is an organization known for Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and Grant Fuhrer and Yari Curry and so many greats of the greats when that thing got started in the late 70s, early 80s, and they ruled the NHL for more than a minute. Many people believe that when is it going to be for Connor McDavid to get his turn? Well, not only did he get another chance, but against a team that took that away from him last year. He is clearly the best player in the sport, but sometimes you only get so many shots at the Dome to take it down. Connor McDavid has another shot, and it's now or never time for him. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The extra hour of the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, because tomorrow the Steelers will announce the signing of Aaron Rodgers. NBA Game 1 starting at 7:30. The pregame started at 6:30 on ESPN, and we will pick it up at 7. All right, Bryan Bulaga, any player that you could ever think of where, as a fellow NFL player, you thought, I can't believe what this team is doing for this guy?
Kind of trying to think back and through all the free agencies and all the times, and nothing like jumps out like how long this has kind of gone on, right? Like how, because normally like you look at the importance of the quarterback position, and obviously that role on a team, like you want those guys in immediately, right? Like you want that guy in and being around the offense and doing all these things with the receivers and the running backs and the line and all that. So like normally these things are taken care of, but I guess you could say there was some stuff, the Raiders did with Antonio Brown. If you remember from Hard Knocks, there was some wild stuff that happened there. That was well documented when Gruden was there. That was some funny but wild stuff. Trying to think of what else. I think, also when it went on, Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers, also, that whole, how that all went on when he, with the franchise tag and how that all kind of played itself out too.
The news, by the way, just so you know what the doctor's talking about, the news comes more than 80 days since the start of free agency and 70 days after Rodgers visited the Steelers. 70 days. That's a long time.
Yeah, that's more than like, it just doesn't happen often, right? And obviously he had to be in communication with them about joining right before minicamp. That had to be.
You said that a long time ago. That's when a coach wants you there.
Yeah, that had to be what his plan was the entire time. Is I'll be there for the mandatory minicamp. That's obviously what he's showing up for. But it's still a long time, and it doesn't happen often. But then again, this is a different time in the NFL.
And I would say how rare it is, because everybody, when it was talked about, had no idea of what to say. I don't know why. This has never happened before. Like, what are the chances of that the alien is going to sign by the start of the year? I don't know. We've never had an alien sign before. Phil in Cedarburg, I'm ready for you now.
I'm not that bad, am I? All right, so Homer, I think you're making a little bit too big a deal of this. They've had this handshake deal forever. They knew he was coming there for a really, really long time. The shock would have been if he didn't go there. The Pittsburgh,
after this amount of time, no. You can't say that. You can't say that because it.
Of course you can.
No, what? Oh, and how many? And upon here we go. You'll love this, Phil. Be ready for this, Brian. Phil, upon what experience or information did you base that? Oh, yeah, like I remember a couple years ago, it was 70 days. If it's been 70 days in the past, I will defer to the doctor. That generally meant it ain't happening. If you're 70 days after you meet with a team and you haven't signed with that team, You ain't signing with that team except for this case. Do you agree with that, Phil?
This guy is in his 40s, man. Like, he's gone through this ringer enough.
Oh, he's the first player
time.
in his 40s. Yes, yeah, he's the first one.
Oh, yeah, but he gets a lot of attention. Look at how much attention this is getting today. He wanted to lay low for a little bit. They had a handshake deal. They all knew he was coming for a really long time. He didn't want to have to deal with you're not going to the voluntary minicamps, all that nonsense he had to deal with last year with the Jets, I think it was. I mean, this is the perfect situation for Rodgers, and Rodgers is going to be – there's only two things I'm worried about. Is he healthy? And
I just tell you, at his age, Phil, you just assume he's not going to be healthy for the whole season. So that if he did,
he hasn't been healthy for 3 years.
All right, but I'm saying anybody at his age, that's when you just get hurt. So if he plays all 17 games, he should be given credit for an amazing return. Would you do that?
If he plays all 17 games, the Pittsburgh is going to have a magical year.
What is magical?
No doubt in my mind.
What is magical?
They're going to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Playoff game?
They're going to make a deep run in the playoffs.
A deep run.
He's got a motivated Rodgers.
By the way, Phil, I'll let you finish maybe. But we have determined, 8 years we said that Pittsburgh has not won a playoff game. Do you think there will ever be a Packer coach that can go 8 years without winning one playoff game?
I would say yes. I would say yes. So this is exactly like Brett Favre going to the Vikings. This is exactly the same thing. He got torched when he was with the Jets. He was hurt when he was with the Jets. The Jets are the most sad organization in the NFL, run by a complete moron. He comes to the Vikings, a real organization with a real coach and a real team, and he just kicked butt. Rodgers is going to do the exact same thing with Pittsburgh. It's going to be amazing, and everyone's going to go like, "Holy crap! Where did this come from?"
Now,
it's been
hold
there
on.
all along.
I'll
He's
let
just
you
been
finish.
hurt.
I'll let you finish, maybe, Phil. Now, Brian, do you understand why I said I needed some time to get ready for Phil? Do you understand?
I get it, but I'm going to be honest with you, Phil. Phil made a really good point with the Favre Rodgers thing. Going to the Jets, going to the Vikings, and now he's going to Pittsburgh, more stable organizations, and how that.
Well, but to be fair,
makes sense.
Brett Favre did fine with the Jets. I think they were winning. I think they were like 7-3 until he got hurt. I'm going to have to look that up. Things were going well.
Same thing. Rodgers was hurt too. Well, coming back from Achilles, he was hurt.
Right.
There's no way you can come back from Achilles and be yourself. This year you're going to see Rodgers. If he can hold up, he's an old man now. His Achilles should be okay now, I think.
Yeah, I think the Achilles is good. I'd assume the Achilles is good by now.
But it
looked good towards the end of last year.
Yeah, you risk, and I'll defer to any doctor that wants to call in, of possible injuries to other things because of your recovery from the Achilles. I don't know if it's calf, but someone says it. Other things seem to sometimes
I'm watching, Homer, I'm watching every game. I'm watching Rodgers.
You're watching every game. You want him to win or lose? Somebody said
I want him to win every game.
Really?
I want magic from him. I don't. Everyone gets bashed when they leave. Everyone likes to pile on. He gave us amazing moments.
Your position
and I'm grateful
is fine.
to him.
That's fine. I don't think any position is bad. To me, there are no rules. I could care less because he's not with the Packers. When you're not with the Packers, you are dead to me. Other than the fact that they're playing against. What do you mean? Yeah,
we have a 20-year relationship with this guy. Like he was our guy for 20 years. You just he's a child to me.
Yes,
I'm not going to cut off my child.
Hold on,
I still love him.
As a player, he's dead to me. Now, if we had a private conversation, that's separate. But as a player, why would I care?
Homer.
He doesn't play. He's in the AFC. If they didn't play Pittsburgh, I would have refused to do this show. They wanted to do an extra 1 hour show, and I agreed to do it. If the Packers had not played Pittsburgh, there's no way I would have done a show. Who would care?
Pittsburgh reminds me of Green Bay. It's a bigger market. It's super passionate fans. It's cold there too.
Bryan Bulaga laughs at me. He's like you. You did relate
former players to like dogs you have to put down, to like animals you have to put to sleep. It was pretty brutal. He said that to
Brian
me.
Brian Bulaga played for the Chargers. We still love Brian Bulaga. Come on, Homer.
Homer put me down like an old dog, man.
He was dead to be dead. Now, hold on.
When they put down Bryan Bulaga?
Yes, which is why I complain that then these players come back and their final day they want to be honored as a Packer, and I go, they're like, dude, they put you down for dead, and you finish with another team. We're going to act like we didn't get rid of you. Yes, you did. But now, when you honor those players and they come back, of course, as a former player, they're special, and you feel, I will say this is the standard I use. Greatness is determined by me as one thing. If I felt lucky to have been around to watch him play, I feel lucky to have been around to watch Aaron Rodgers play. I feel lucky to have been around to see Dwayne Wade. I feel lucky to have been around to see Brett Favre. But
Homer, you get to see him again from another year. You get to be lucky for another year at least.
No, he's not on the team.
Treasure it.
What treasure it?
It's not even in our conference. Cheer against him if he gets a Super Bowl against us.
Treasure it?
Cheer for him. He's our guy, man.
How many times in my life have I treasured the Pittsburgh Steelers? Never, and I'm not going to now.
Well, I'm going to this year. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. They're my number 2 team.
Right.
They're my number 2 team.
I will
Green Bay
defer
number
to
1,
you
Pittsburgh
and
number
Bryan.
2.
I accept this because that is also, to me, the definition of family. When somebody's family, you don't care what team they play for. They're family, and you root for them. I've never considered a Packer player ever family, but you are with Rodgers, and I would say, I'm guessing,
like
Bryan, you're the same way,
especially
with guys you played with or people that you were, that you felt close. You want them to do well wherever they are, right?
100%. Yeah, I want Aaron to do well. I hope he does great. I really do.
See, because he's family to you.
I'm expecting it.
You're expecting
I'm expecting greatness.
Even Bryan Bulaga. I'm
expecting greatness.
Are you expecting greatness from Aaron Rodgers, Bryan Bulaga?
I do expect him to play a lot better than he did last year. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I expect him to play better. I just don't know what to expect from his teammates.
If he can play like he did the last 10 or 11 games, he'll be fine. Check of the last 10 or 11 games, he had 8 games with a quarterback rating over 100.
Yeah.
I think
Pretty
that's
good.
what Pittsburgh sees.
Yep, 100%.
You need a backup team, Homer. You always need a backup team. Like, Packers might stink. You need to have one backup team.
Phil, I'll remember this.
2.
I always need a backup team. I can't think, and you've had many crazy thoughts. I think that's your worst thought ever. You need a backup team. What?
He's
Like I need a backup mom and dad? I got my mom and dad, but I need a backup.
That's AI.
Phil, I'm going to write that one down. Thanks. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, The Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy The Bog.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Hey, Jen Latta here, and as a client of the We Sell Group, I can tell you firsthand, Rob and Nick make the home buying and selling process easier. Right now, school's out, and that means it's the perfect time to list your home. The market is challenging and inventory is tight, but you don't have to face it alone. Rob and Nick are pros. They take the stress off your plate so you can focus on your family, your summer, and just breathe. Contact Rob and Nick to see what your home might be worth in this market. Connect today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties Blue Bunny Dairy Dessert, 2 for $7. 8.2 to 20 ounce selected varieties CPAC Seafood, $6.99. 7 to 15 ounce selected varieties Rana Pasta or Sauce, 2 for $7. 2 to 6 count selected varieties Northern Bath or Brawny Towels, $6.99.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers.
Safe. Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let carbless, ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Just a few minutes left and a half-hour pregame before Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Bryan Bulaga can do it if he wishes. Take the dog, and it's a big dog. The Indiana Pacers. I'm going with Oklahoma City. I will admit, in my life, I never thought Oklahoma City would be the world champion of anything other than maybe oil. But they'll be the world champions. And it would be massive. I think they said it'd be the biggest upset in, 20 years or something like that? Because Oklahoma City has been dominant throughout the regular season and the playoffs. Does Bryan Bulaga want to take the Indiana Pacers? Yes or no, sir?
I'm going to say this. They shouldn't be there, right? They shouldn't be there. And that's the reason that gets me kind of like I want to take them.
Oh.
It makes me want to take them because you've seen what they've done all the way up to this point. They have some momentum. So my head tells me no, but my heart's kind of telling me you should take them because they're playing with something right now that is very rare, right?
I would agree, but I think they're that good. I think people have underestimated how good they've been defensively. They've shot the three great, which is always what can be a fluke. But at some point, you can't say, they got fortunate, but they pulled this ability to win games from behind late before it started in the playoffs. What have they been? Really good since the last 30 games of the season, and it was all defense. They were like the Knicks, good, but just don't defend well enough. So,
I'm going to take to take the Pacers. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to take the Pacers. I'm going to go opposite.
You're going. We call that going Tauscher on this show. That's going Tauscher.
Let's just see.
Which you don't normally go opposite. You're not an opposite guy, I don't think.
No, because I've seen how good OKC's been, but there's just something about Indiana that just let's see it. Let's see what they do.
And you'd have to go back and look. You always say, you just test them, just scare them and see what happens. They've just been, Oklahoma City to me has just been so good defensively that to me is what's carried them in the times when they didn't shoot as well. All right, here we go. Chris, Aaron Rodgers, whom the owner wanted benched early in the season, went 5-12 last year with a roster mostly agreed was ready to compete for a Super Bowl. Now he's in a tougher division with not as good of a team around him. It's not going to end well, folks. I don't agree with that. I expect them to. See, this is you either expect them to win to make the playoffs or not. I think can they win a playoff game for the first time in 9 years? That's the question, Bryan Bulaga. Go for that one. You got to feel better about that than you just took the Pacers. Steelers winning a playoff game for the first time in 9 years. That wouldn't be as big a surprise.
Yeah, I'd feel better about it. But, it's funny. He says, a better division. The Browns stink. The Bengals have no defense. All they can do is score points.
Right. It's just Baltimore.
Even Pittsburgh last year was scoring on Cincinnati. Right. What is that? No, that's not true. It's only Baltimore.
Right. I agree. A weaker division is when you have two bad teams. And people don't want to think Cincinnati's bad. They're bad. Cleveland is bad. So fine. Would you rather have a division to play one great team and two bad ones or three good ones? Of course you'd rather have one great one and two bad ones.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. That's why Pittsburgh continually has obviously made it to the playoffs, right? They've continually gotten there. And it's going to be no different this year. It's no different. The Bengals, they didn't do anything defensively to help themselves out. They resigned all their receivers. Sure.
I'll pick Pittsburgh to have more wins than Cincinnati.
Yeah. Cincinnati did nothing besides re-sign their receivers. That's about it.
Yep. So we'll but again, Aaron Rodgers is now, as everybody expected. It would have been nice to me if I would have been more than willing to do an hour show if Jair Alexander had announced that he was coming back to Green Bay. So whoever had the bet that Aaron Rodgers would be resolved before Jair Alexander, they win.
They cashed it. They cashed their bet.
I don't even remember. Yeah. I'm not even sure which side I had on that. But, yes, the importance of Jair Alexander is 10 times as important to me than Aaron Rodgers because, as Brian liked to bring up, Aaron Rodgers is a dead dog. Now, the dog lives for one game. So, he's in the cage, comes back from the kennel. I'm the only one who brings him back. So, Jair, come on. I guess it'd be the same. I'm more than willing to wait if he ends up coming back. I don't see the negative of him coming back. They're a better team, and I'm okay with if he only plays half the games. If he's ready for the playoffs.
Yep, I see no negative in him being back on the team. No negative.
And not my money.
Definitely not. It's definitely not, yeah.
And I will forever stand by the fact, I don't know who they are, but there's a group of people in the Packers that don't want him back. Maybe they've changed, or I don't know what it is, but I don't know what he did to irritate. Well, I know they thought he was healthy enough to play, but you've been through this before. Players and doctors and teams, that exists often, though nobody talks about it, right? It's the kind of unknown.
Yeah, there's always going to be disagreements on things like that, but, it is what it is.
It is what it is. NBA Finals, and yes, we'll give him, if Indiana wins the NBA Finals, we're going to give Bryan Bulaga an extra half hour on basketball only. Because he picked the Indiana Pacers. No. I can't do it. Next.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart.